Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to my stream. I will be doing a live reaction. www.you. Sorry if you hear some background noises. Live action. What's this? I need to go into Fortnite. Why would someone look up Fox News? Why do I always talk like this while I'm filming? I'm gonna become a meme, trust me, because I can't stop singing a song.
As on the map at all times. They're guaranteed to drop out of those airdrops. There's always one in the vault, so you know at least some people around you. It's kind of safe to bank on it, but he played that well. That's the thing. Again, he was very aggressive on rotates. It worked well this game. I want to see if he makes it into that top 100. Again, these are the open qualifiers. If he makes it into those finals against those top-tier players, you will often get punished for that, though. It works, but if you're versing someone good and they know how to play aggressively back, it can really throw your game, but it worked this time. The aggressive gambler got him a lot of points going into this one.
Oh yeah, man. Let's take a look at the standings right there. OVA Zeston 185 points. And I mean, Simo FN there 184, only a single point behind. Now again, the point differential is much smaller there as you're kind of moving up through top 25 to that victory royale. But every elimination is 4 points, so. You know, Simo is very, these guys are probably more than likely going to qualify. Now, there's still games happening tomorrow, but don't forget, look who's in number 7, Bala. We got Made back up there.
Can you get me some?
He's back up there, but Coolest Carrot was there too. In that last one that we saw. Jump Gun Buddies are reigning supreme right now. Pusher up there too from that game. We saw Akeem as well, and I believe Vox was in that one too. So definitely a lot of big names in the last one. And like I said, with the matchmaking system the way it is in these open systems, these are the guys that are going to be playing against each other with the times the way they are. There might be certain people who end up in another one, but we're going to see stacked game after stacked game. And this is not only a learning experience, but for us, for the players, for everybody, the audience, we'll see how these continue. And this points disparity, the points spread between top 1 and 30th right now. These open quals, they end up being very, very close. And also we get to kind of figure out what a good game and what after 3 games, essentially, is what these guys could have played by now. 3 good games that we've watched. This is what those look like. This is what the best of the best are performing right now. It's around 150 points.
Yeah, you talk about the consistency too. It's crazy that Mage, we saw him drop a 20 elimination game and still he was not in first. So again, is it an issue of consistency? He's gone down on early game a few times, hasn't got those end games of place. Sundown touch.
Actually, no, I don't. So just had vanilla syrup. Oh wait, vanilla syrup. Hey, you muted the thing. Hey, you're not supposed to mess with this.
The format changed up
Don't mess with
EU's
it.
play at all. Do you think it's primarily the same? Do you think it's like, hey, you know what, more aggressive coming out? You're right. EU is just always sending it.
Zeke, you've been watching Call of Fortnite since the beginning. You've been there since that very first week 1 Summer Skirmish broadcast, and you know that EU always is a little bit more aggressive than anybody, and for good reason. They not only have to, because they have really, really good players. They have to be good at that fighting mechanic. You need to be able to and be prepared when Mitro comes up to you and starts taking your wall. You just have to. So that's kind of why you see these guys good at fighting, is because the good players are really, really good at that. But at the same time, it's their style, man. It's always been their style. And with this format the way it is, I don't think we've seen a change, because at the end of the day, the goals are still the same, right? Get towards the end game, find elims. And sure, we saw Mage W key a little bit, but that's just because he knows the skill that he has over everybody in those early lobbies.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think, so for me, it's funny because, like, I do agree. I think, though, with the every elim being 4 points, I feel like it's just that much more tantalizing as an option. You're like, okay, yeah, like, I love to WP, sick. But I can get 4 points off it? Okay, alright. Yeah, well, let's go. You know, like, you know, especially with the addition of all the mythic weapons as well. Like, you know, I guess, Ozzy, do you feel like those mythic weapons are, like, more conducive to what you're doing already? Because, like, obviously there's only so many in a game, right? Especially if you guys haven't played Fortnite recently. That was an addition in this season. So, with that, do you think that's changed up anything? Like, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to take too long. I think we have games underway, but I mean, it's going to be, if you're an aggressive player and you back yourself mechanically and you know if you're going to drop one of these POIs, you're going to walk away with one of the best guns. Again, we talk about mythic POIs. We're dropping into Shark now. Simo's here. He's going to, if he wins this, he picks up a grappler and Sky's AR. That is massive. So again, if you back yourself as one of those players, it is massive.
That it is, but what else is massive is the amount of players here. There's so many. Simo, we saw him at the top. Finds one to start things off, but no Sky yet, no card to get that vault open, no AR, no grappler. So he's got to find one of those things really fast, otherwise he's not going to be a player in this too much more longer. Ooh, and I say that, but no, it doesn't even matter, as Nespit is going to just completely dominate him and make him a non-factor regardless of whether he has the vault card or not. And he's going to be able to pick all of that up in quick fashion.
Definitely, he's got it now as well. So that's the thing. It's one of those drops, again, depending on where you go, being able to pick up that AR and then being able to have the key card. Again, you drop Grotto. If you get the minigun and then you have the card, you can pressure it. But here you get 2 mythic items. Oh, he's inside the box, though. 80. Hits him for 80. Gets taken down to 70 health. He had 20 before the Siphon. That is a massive 136 points. If he can walk away with this loot, it's going to be a big game. He needs to try and get into the vault, though. They've obviously changed Shark recently. It's got more of a prison loadout now. It's a bit more, it's very box fight inducive. There's a lot of verticality in there, but naturally there's just rooms which are their prison cells, right? So there's boxes everywhere. So these players dropping there, using that to his strength and his benefits. There's still 3 players here he has to beat. Chris looking probably the worst of it with no shields. Nesbitt, though, pinned up against the wall. He's got 64 builds, and there it is. Takes down 1. Is he going to take down 4 people and get the vault loot? This would be huge. Knocks him off the stair, breaks him down, places the cone. We've talked about the piece control. It's always the indicator of the superior players right now. And there it is. Nesbitt, 4 limbs and the vault.
Yeah. Let's take a second to explain the piece control concept a little bit, because while I might say it a lot, to a lot of people who are new to competitive Fortnite might not know exactly what we're talking about. And yes, it's been a thing always to take walls, but when you see these top pros, you see them take the extra step. They're always getting 1 cone that you would never expect them to be able to do. You see them getting walls behind people, a whole step ahead of them. And that just allows you to control the fight, allows you to put people directly in your hands. You get to control everything in that situation. There's no escape, no routes for them to get out of. And Spit definitely showing that he can do it, and he can hang with the top.
Here we go, though. We go from an aggressive mythic POI. Now we have a very unaggressive drop. I mean, there's a lot of loot around here. You got the henchman chest over there, so you can guarantee some good loot from that. Oh, drops down, almost drops down. Maybe a bit of a misplay. It's awkward to build around. He's in the bushes, though. Man, this guy must be back in his shotgun aim. He is dropping straight into the bush. We said last game, watching him, you made a note of building over the bush to make sure this doesn't happen. He's dropping straight in. He's backing his shotgun aim against Mr. T. Oh, and there we come a third party. Again, I'm talking about this drop. There's 3 people here. Oh, the heavy side through the box. It's a 3-way box fight, and there it is. I said he backs his shotgun aim, and maybe with very good reason, he does not miss a single shot. Just walks through both the enemies. My gosh.
And that's gotta feel. That's actually probably one of the best feelings when you're like, oh gosh, there's 3 people landing at my spot when I need it to be uncontested, and then you find yourself the heavy sniper. Maybe he landed over towards Pleasant Park a little earlier, but you find 2 people in a box fight, heavy snipe in, and easy. Both of them are cleaned up. Both of them are low. That's the best feeling in the world, and that gives momentum now for Gia to possibly go forward with the loot that he has. It's looking really nice for him.
Really, really nice. And that's 8 points right there. 2 eliminations off the bat. It's such a big buffer. Again, he's got 160, but that's a big deal. If you get those eliminations early game now, and then you can ease up a little bit mid-game, maybe play really passive to just try and get those maximum placement points, it's going to do it for him. Now we have, around Grotto. I can't see the Grotto player that actually has the loot. Maybe hunting it down a little bit. We have, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players here. Again, it can get confusing. A lot of those triangles on there. If you're looking at the bottom right minimap, they're actually henchmen. The colored ones are the players, and oh my gosh, the legendary burst being put to use. Worth noting right now, this player is running no shotgun. Very good chances is a controller player going for that advantage with the fast spray of the SMG. Could be wrong. We'll have to see it. Heavy burst shots is normally a good indicator as well. We'll see if he's going to try and make his way into this one. But he's playing aggressive nonetheless. It's looking like a bit of a mage throwback right now.
I love the counter there as he edited out, placed the wall quickly. Exteriors, definitely a quick one. And I think we're seeing every single player in this contest. This is actually the first time we're looking at the Grotto. And yes, this is a little bit later in the game that we might be seeing. There was a drop here, a supply crate that landed not too far out. That might make it very much more contested than we might see. But Light is building up over top. And this is a player too, Light. Familiar, if you watch the EU, you've seen the little bits. Adds the fishy to his name for extra luck. And both of these guys so quick with the reactions. Every little tag matters. Even if it's 30 shield, it doesn't. You just need to continue to fight. You got to get every single little advantage over your opponent.
Definitely. Talk about luck. I don't think he needs it right now. He's playing through. Has a pelt pump. I say that though. Beautiful edit out the top, but the player can't track it. No, the third party. There it is. He gets a little bit of payback. Osiris RR hitting him with the AR third party like he did when he first rocked up from the fight. It's almost the exact same situation. And then Osiris choosing not to push it. Maybe a smart play that I got my elimination. I got my 4 points. I'm good on mats. I'm good on loot. I don't need to push into this one. And there it is. Exteriors, I think am I pronouncing that? Gets everything to himself. That's pretty huge.
There it is, Grotto. So many people. Another box dive. This is Ja that we saw earlier come off of the bridge. And it's a 3-way fight, too, as this continues now. He's got 3 elims. He's got a launch pad if he wants to get away from it. I see that he doesn't have the big pops that he had earlier. Another 50-50 tack shots. They both trade a little bit. Now they're wall-to-wall. Heavy strafe into the box. And Ja is just showing off now, but the escape is there. It doesn't matter the phase. Right through the yellow ramp. Ja is showing up, man. And this is box fight prowess, too.
This is what today's about. We talked about earlier, finding those new people. Again, maybe I'm ignorant towards EU, but Ja, I've never seen this player that much before. He is dominating today. That's 4 eliminations, but in very clean fashion. He is backing his own aggression. We talked about high skill-based matchmaking lobbies. He's in one of them, and he's still backing his skill. He is going through every wall, and here we go. We're back to Grotto Osiris. Might better pull off again. It does! The third party takes off all the shield. He absolutely beams it from the hill. See if it's going to break out now. We're just going from 3-way fight to 3-way fight. Who do you reckon is going to win this on board? The situation we're in right now. You're going to make a call on it?
This is going to be difficult. I think Osiris definitely has the opportunity to continue to take beams on these guys as they try to level away. Exteriors looks to be signaling that he wants to get away from the fights, get some more materials as his first priority, but hopefully duck back into the grotto and maybe use the air vent that's in there to make his great escape. This is the thing at the grotto, at these mythic POIs. These fights tend to get a little drawn out, no matter where the zone is. You might be used to seeing the zone coming in, being like, oh, this is a storm fight. You should probably start rotating. But no, at the grotto, at the start, people will not stop until they get the item that they came there for, which is the vault card and those mythic weapons.
You have the ability to do a little bit more too, because you're guaranteed some meds in the vault. There's a very high chance you're going to walk back into the vault. There's going to be a med kit lying around, maybe a bandage cannon, so you can heal up from those early game storm fights. You don't have to worry too much. I mean, in high level lobbies, if you watch any of the massive tournaments, they'll sit in the vault until they're pretty much gone to storm, just holding it with all the white meds they have. He's pushing through now, the SMG out. Purple pump, green SMG, grey AR. He's running down though. Now Cyrus is coming in for a piece of it. Third party specialties. Already picked up 1 free elimination from this. Can he do a second? Put himself up on the high ground above them in a very commanding position. And now he's slowed down this whole fight. When you're trying to take walls, if you know there's someone above you that can take that moment of you focusing on the other enemy to spray you down, it's going to play out a lot slower. He's keeping himself constantly in the position of power or a very smart disengage. One of the players here choosing to swim around and try and get away. That means Osiris now has to peel his attention, and possibly both these players can get away. There it is. So it's Exteriors. He's going to go around the backside, making his way out. And then we have the player beneath him trying to make it up this hill, this elevation, struggling a little bit, trying to save his mats on this awkward elevation. But that was a big disengage. Here he comes up. He's making his way. Maybe he can apply some of the third-party pressure to Osiris. It's just swapping backwards and forwards with the third parties.
That it is. And another fight that looks to go the distance here in Lazy Lake. Rex definitely trying to find a big play, trying to find the first tags in the fight to make it so that it's an easy cleanup for him. But as soon as there's another third party looking and lying in wait, he says, no, okay, I'm going to go back to where it looks like he found himself in elimination earlier and he knew that there was an extra slurpfish lying around. He goes right back up to 200 effective HP. And his loadout is looking very, very good. Maybe a little unfocused because he has the RPG and the fish. But
yeah,
he has the opportunity now to make big plays in either direction, right? A couple of flopper in zone, and then also the RPG to knock out and pressure height.
Yeah, my only fear here is the box fight. He's got the purple pump, but if he misses the purple pump shot or is weak, he's going to rely on the mythic AR. And yes, it hits very hard, but it does have a very slow fire rate. So if you miss a couple shots and you miss that pump shot, you're stranded in a box. If they've got attack, they can put some pressure on, but maybe he has the ability to play that one to his own. He might play slow. Maybe, again, he'll control it. He won't get in the box. We'll see.
And it's so interesting, this open format and this invitational in general, seeing older names that I recall from prior seasons. I just saw Milwaukee end up falling in the feed. And that's something I haven't seen since Trios, but back at it again here in the Solos Open qualifier for the FMCS Invitational. We're all grouped up in one big game mode and have to fend for ourselves. Back at the Grotto, Exterios probably still fighting with the same guy from that entire storm fight that we watched. And possibly Osiris is lurking nearby too, but we can't quite see. And this is it. Did any of these guys find the card? Or are basically they fighting for nothing? Are they just going to have to try to get to the air event and out? Is my biggest question right now.
Why do weapons and scopes? Go. This guy's stupid.
That it's not so many medkits available with how much loot potential is in the grotto, something like 17 chests plus extra agency chests too. Those are the ones that can have that extra loot. He's going to go back down and up to get that extra air and fly himself into Retail Row, and there's nobody there. With the launch pad that he has, I'm wondering if he actually already got the vaults earlier on, because that's obviously guaranteed. And when we say that, it's because out of supply crates, there's a 100% chance for a trap slot item to drop. But right now, the only item in there that's not unvaulted is the launch pad. So it's a guaranteed chance of that. Back to Ja, who's made his way all the way from Pleasant Park at the start of the game now to Lazy Lake, and he's in a fight. And this fight is not ending. This guy wants to get in. So Rex had a plan starting from the box factory east of Misty Meadows, south of Lazy Lake, to grab Meowsicle's Mythic AR. And then move up towards Lazy Lake, possibly find a fight. Mage is in this game as well. And he's at 175 points, so surely we're seeing mostly top 100 players right now. And when we see somebody like what we saw Jia just do fall before really too many placement points have been accrued, only 2 thresholds in that case, then you have to wonder if that might be the end of the run, or are they going to go right back into another game? Mage picks up another one, and this guy does not stop.
Whew. He's on the slurpfish though, so he can quickly heal this. There it is. One slurpfish popped. If he gets another free second, he'll pop the second one. And there it is. Goes back up to full health. And I don't know if Keys knows that he had those slurpfish, so he might still think that he has the health advantage when it's actually completely even. Mage is in this game, changing his playstyle. Not to harp on the same point, but skill-based matchmaking. A superior player like Mage has identified that. He's changed his playstyle accordingly. He's slowed down, hasn't gone for as many eliminations, making sure he gets to the end game for those placement points. But we say that Keys is on top of him. He's taken the cone, and Mage is too quick for him. This is going to be an interesting fight. This is going to be definitely a good one. Didn't even know Mage is in this lobby until now.
I know.
It's going to be awkward after this fight ends, how to get up over that weather station, how to get over that mountain that is looming and threatening pretty much everybody. Well, I'm surprised not to see the people up at the top taking shots down at Mage and Keys, and I think Mage knows that. He starts to dance a little bit. Have a little bit of fun in the meantime. Keys takes that as a cue for him to get out of here and get right back up to the top. There's loot down here that Mage remembers, and he goes down and grabs it. There's a big pot. This is what I'm talking about, the scaling of the mountain. Jesse on the backside, too. Where can they find themselves in a good position? Look how far that zone goes up the mountain. And people shooting right now is actually building back in zone 2. This is causing you to lose opportunities. Don't forget, there are people up on high ground who will 100% have angles as this zone starts to move. So you've got to start trying to find a way in and not take these fights.
Definitely be John Betty taking the fight. Those 90 to 30 tag. He just misses it all. He lands at the 11 health. Gets him back up to 61 with the Siphon. He has plenty of meds here, but this player maybe sees that. It's going to start pushing forward. No, chooses not to. Luckily for Jesse here, Skew doesn't have much of a health advantage anyway. 150 effective total. Mage looks like in the back of your screen there, he might still be in a fight, or he's rotating. Can't quite see him. He's got a lot of nameplates on top of him. This edge is not too bad of a rotate. Jesse needs to be careful from behind. I said not bad. There's only one player behind him. One's enough to take the shot. The rocket doesn't phase in. He's going to try and get these minis off. He's got the floppers. He can stay here for a while, but this player might not let him. This could be the play. This could be a controller Rex because he has that mythic heavy AR. I can hear the fire rate. I'm pretty sure this is controller Rex. And Jesse turns the tide of his fight on him. Drops the launch pad. Can he get him out of the sky? And he does. It was controller Rex. And now for that, Jesse gets topped up 4 points and a launch pad and another launch pad from Rex. Thank you very much for taking this fight with me. I appreciate it. I'm going to take everything you had and I'm going to take it to endgame.
There he is. Stuff falls down the hill, and with that, there is no more heavy AR in play. There's the mythic rarity. We scoop back up to the top of this as we see Osiris get taken out in the background by Keys. Tune in with Wind, who was in the top 10 last we checked. And I'm wondering if this is Captain Wind. Ooh, a nice opportunity. The wall opened from Sky. Did not notice it in the background, and Wind did. And that is the end. Good pickup from Wind.
181 points. He's looking good. He's trying to find his way through. But look at the zone right now. Look at the edges. If you're on top of that mountain, you're looking pretty good because everyone's on the edges. There's 2 players up there in the middle, but everyone's down here around Wind. He's got to be careful. This is going to be very, very congested very quickly. We talked about congested, dead side of zone, getting away from other players, but when it's mountains, you just have to get up there and you get in. You don't really have a lot of time to scale the whole mountain sometimes. Wind being one of those players and zone pulls away from them, this is going to be a very, very interesting endgame if these guys don't have launch pads.
The case, but look how the spread is actually up on the side of the mountain. I think we're going to be okay. I think most of those guys will build their way in unless they all decide to sit still and wait for a launch pad to be placed, which could be the case. But the other awkward thing is when you're on top of this mountain, those pulls can be really, really early, and it could actually cause you to lose your game from using the launch pad too high. I wonder about the people rotating in from that eastern side, let's call it. So it's going to sneak in an RPG shots. It does connect, but not even on the players who he was trying to get the Elam from, and that's Pusher, who goes down. to a player who grabs both of them, a quick, easy cleanup, and people are already starting to tunnel to try to get that loot.
Yeah, trying to make their way in. A bit of a lobby manipulation. Not a few people talk about it. You spray an enemy, it's just a free elimination, right? That guy's taking a few AR shots, gets him 2 free eliminations, 8 points. With Carwix, there's 2 people out of the lobby now, so he's still going to get more placement for that too. Oh, Beewee getting... Oh, he's getting beamed right now. Beewee getting beamed. He's losing his health. He's getting shot from a lot of people, and Carwix hears and he heard that shield crack. It's such a distinct audio cue. The player above you is weak. If you can push them, try, but he drops back down. Chooses it's not worth it. He's too close to place some points. Never mind, but Carwix, he's now got the angle on him again. Beewee comes down to his layup. Oh, the rocket with the pump follow-up is such a lethal combination. Breaks the wall, and you can just get that shotgun shot through sometimes. Wasn't the case this time, though.
Let me check to see if they took down my video.
Look at everybody mountain goating on the side of this right now as we are getting closer and closer towards moving zone. 6 has been revealed. It's going down the mountain, but not before traversing the side of it for quite some time. Kowix has got the RPG, and that could cause a lot of trouble for everybody who's actually fighting for height at the stages as it falls off. But good thing is that that zone kind of stops right as the mountain goes off the side, so they can kind of stay up there with a bit of safety with that in mind.
Yeah, I think out of all the ways this zone could have gone, that's probably the friendliest, going back down the mountain. It doesn't go over the other side. This is also going to be friendly for the next zone, because if this went up and over, and then it went even further across again, there is some big verticality in those zones. Gets the end and takes him down using that purple pump to precision. He's going to keep pushing forward if he can get to front side. He doesn't have that launch pad. It's going to be so crucial to get there quickly. Now he's going to run past some opponents. He's taken down. Wins pushing forward with that AR. He can't find his way in. Kowix is on shambles right now. He's trying to get away. He's pushing towards front side, but he is so very, very far from front side.
There he is. The innovations in tunneling, the way that he's using the cheap stairs right above him without covering necessarily all the sides. Back when there's a bunch of full tarps, players all around him, he knows, he heard the sound cues, but now he's in trouble because people are in zone looking right back on him, but with the full metal that he has, he's actually able to get away and shot bleed down, and nobody's around him now. He has the time to heal, and he continues to pull off this hill. Maybe the opportunity now to go full low ground.
Yeah, this is a good position to be in. He drops down the low, continues to be massive to get down here. He's only got 15 left to his name, so you talked about trying to use those iterations of tunnels. He's going to have to be very inventive to make these 10 builds last him. 57 health, 25 shields. He's been the best position he's been all game as far as close to zone. Here he is trying to find it. Oh, gets the RPGs carried through. He's trying to get his way in with the pump as well. He can't push forward. He's going aggressive. I think this guy was 100. Doesn't matter. Takes him down. And then refresh all the materials, the floppers, the minis. He has everything he needs now.
He's got so many mats. He's got so much in tow. And there he is down on that low ground layer. It's going over the bridge, possibly even lower. Keezy in this game. Still, I hear the grappler in play with 10 players left. This is when the majority of the placement thresholds come through. RPGs all around. That's 4 in a quick instant. Make that 5 as Recon finds Yims. A launch pad pull from Keys. This could be huge. A quick short launch. Almost gets on the bridge. And with the materials he has to make this work underneath. He actually uses the unbreakable material of that bridge to have himself a home. Mage still in this game too. It's Ally on high ground though.
And you too.
That was such a good mission. I'm happy you were taking that one because I was going to say a bit of a misplay. Only grabbed the launch pad, but look what he did with the launch pad. Got himself under the bridge, under the unbreakable build. Like you said, the pressure only coming out from below now. Ollie is on second high. With his grappler, he can be at height at any point. Needs to be careful. Tippy toes on the edge. He only just holds up, comes up with the pump. He's got no builds. This is insane. He's trying to Spider-Man his way through if he can. He's just jumping up, jumping down. He can't get away. He goes down. Ollie is out of there now. You have U-Man because Zero Ping on high ground. He's looking very good. He's got the high ground now, trying to take some shots through. Mage goes up with him with the launch pad. Makes his way past and he doesn't get taken out. The rockets are dropping. Oh, he gets the Mage down. Mage is out of this one. Carlos on the high ground, dropping down 3 alive. Can he close it out for her?
You might be able to. The RPG down on low. There's still a player up but high. It's Zero Ping. And now on 1 versus 1 as it continues to go up and down the mountains. Cosmic's going to lose that wall. He has floppers to play with, but obviously that's the case because his opponent knows that too. He's going to continue to try to drop down, but Kowix knows and getting the pump shots has all the advantage in the world. He can work this as much as he wants, but it's still a mini shield, but he doesn't care about the heavy snipe. He lets it actually come through. He lets it kind of bait Colix with the 4 E-limbs. He takes the victory royale.
Oh, the edit there. He went for the heavy snipe through the floor, and then right as he hit the edit, the heavy snipe hit open air, and the pump shot hit the body. He takes him down. Zeke, what do you think about that end game? It was an exciting one.
Man, that was pretty good. Now the question becomes, though, is 4 elimination.
Nice streaming. Oh, that and stream.